Hi everyone, it's Asia Marquet here, Lemon Creation. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm gonna show you how I make my texture paper, as you can see here, and the one I use for the ATC cards, and I'm gonna make some ATC cards also, so stay tuned. A few days ago I made a short showing you this textured paper, and I got a lot of questions: how do I make it, and what is it from, and what tools do I use to make it. And I am pretty sure in one of my previous videos, but that may date to like 2-3 years ago, I actually showed you this technique already. But I cannot find this video and I know it was not a whole video about this technique, so today I decided to actually show you in detail how I do this texture paper, which is super cool. I use it but not all the time, but I'm coming back to it over and over again. So basically I am using wood burning pen, which I bought in a local shop which sells kind of cheap items. So this is on the cheap side, but I know you can find it on Amazon. I'm actually gonna try to find you some links. And I use this end, which is quite simple, you know, it's just like a point. I try the other ends because it's for wood burning, so you can use different ends to it, but the ends doesn't work as well as this one. And yes, the secret is revealed. I just use a vellum paper or the tracing paper, how you call it. I have two sorts of vellum paper. One is this regular one, and here in France we got 70 grams vellum paper, which is quite bendy and as you can see, very see-through. But I also have the old paper, which it's in this envelope kind of thing, or the box kind of thing, cardboard kind of thing. I'm not sure how to call it, but it's not original, so do not be mistaken, because this is colored vellum paper. I'm not sure where I bought it, but it's been years since I have it, and sometimes I use it also. And I am choosing usually this kind of muted colors, which are going well with the vintage or grungy project. And this paper, it's not true, it's not 70 grams. As I said, this is not the proper packaging to it. This one is more sturdy. It's, I would say, almost double of the one which I'm showing you right now. So once again, this is 70 grams. And the blue one, blue kind of turquoise, it's more than 100, I'm pretty sure. It's, as you can see, it's not bending that easily and doesn't break that easily. So that's the whole deal. That's what you do. And I recently also discovered, because the process of doing this texture paper is quite consuming, time consuming. It's very easy, but it's quite time consuming. So I recently discovered that why not try to do few papers at the same time. So for this particular project, I'm actually using 3 papers. But because one of them is quite sturdy, I'd say you could probably use even 4 pieces of paper. I'm not sure. Of course, I forgot to record at the very beginning, but basically that's what you do. I take a piece of broken cutting board, and it's not even cutting board, it's a plate, bamboo plate, and you have to heat up the gun, and you just do your holes in the paper. You need to be really careful. I burned myself slightly, but on several occasions. So you have to be quite careful with what you do, and I do not take responsibility of what you do at home, so please be careful. But that's basically what you do. You just go with the burning tool through your paper. And I can tell you one more thing before, because I bought this wood burning tool maybe not even 1 year ago. Before, I actually used my husband's soldering iron. It's a very similar tool, and it does the same job basically. I prefer wood burning tool. I find it is doing quicker, it's burning the holes quicker. But other than that, you know, you can use both tools. If you don't have wood burning pen, you can use your husband's or yours soldering iron if you have it. If you don't, I'm not sure. Heat embossing pen, I'm not really sure if that would work, to be honest, but you can try. So be really careful with your fingers. And as you can see, I kind of do it, you know, I don't put the paper on the flat surface. I kind of do it in the air. Because if you put paper in the flat surface, you actually do a small kind of holes. But if you hold it a little bit in the air, you get the different sized hole. And you, of course, when you just go through the paper, you can make the hole bigger if you just move your tool around. And quite often with this technique also what's happened is that I'm getting the marks beside the holes, as you can see, a small burn lines, which I really don't mind, and I am not going for perfection here. And quite often also I just make a hole too close to the previous one, and I just make a much bigger hole by joining 2 or 3 of them together. So I kind of tear the paper. Once again, I do not mind. Later on, I will tear it in small pieces to use for my ATC cards or art journaling. And of course, you can use it for scrapbooking. It's a super cool technique. I absolutely love the texture of it. And I wanted to share with you also the sound it makes, because I am so happy when I finish the page and I can hear that. So this is what I turn it into later on. I just stir it. It's stirring so nicely also. Once again, making this lovely sound. Probably none of you are gonna love the sound, but I really do. I really do love the texture and the sound, and I'm so happy I made so many of those papers. And this is the project I've made with it just a few days ago, because I just had a tiny piece of it and one card on which I add some paint, and I just decided to go for it and just finish it off. Because, you know, I'm not doing exchange with ATCs, but I'm adding it to all orders over 70 euro, which you are making in my or placing in my shop. So this is also my way of saying thank you, you know, sending my personalized ATC, and I'm always lacking ATCs, so I'm making them as often as I can. So basically with that, I decided to divide the pages into half. You know, you don't have to do that, of course. I decided to do that for few purposes. First of all, I wanted to take nice pictures, and I wanted to have more of this texture. But also I will be, as I mentioned in previous videos, making some bundles with thematic kind of bundles with leftovers pieces, with some of my drawings or mark makings, and I wanted to include in these bundles also pieces of these papers, because not all of you are having time and tools to make them. and I'm gonna put them up in my shop. I just want to make them so versatile, these bundles, as versatile as possible, and I keep on adding things and thinking of new ways to add something interesting. So this is gonna go into the bundles, and it's so cool. Probably I'm gonna cut it also in half, because it's really time consuming. I think making all these 3 pages took me around 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours even. And one more thing I forgot to mention, you know, when you do that, you actually gonna have fumes which are coming from the paper. So I don't think they are they are bad for our health, but I would advise you to still do it with the window open. So this is very important also, bear that in mind. And so I had 3 cards already with the some paint. I think it was Fresco Chalk Acrylics from Paper Artsy, those kind of brownish paint you can see there on the top of the screen, plus 1 green one, and I decided to add to make a few green ones also with grease lightning green. That's a flat spray from Lindy's. So you can see my application. I added a little bit of water, and then with the straw or the nozzle, it's not the nozzle, you know, with this thingy from the bottle, I added a little bit of paint, a little bit of splatter. So like that, I will have 3 cards in this this color, peach, I think, or salmon, I don't know, and then 4 with the green color. And I'm gonna go very close to the card I've made, because to be honest, I really do like this card I made. I showed you before in the video. And so I'm gonna try to make it very similar ATCs. Tearing the pieces of my old vintage matte polish books into small pieces which can go nicely onto the cards. I am also inking the edges of the card with the distress oxides. Okay, it's not the perfect match if it comes to the color, but it's just a little bit similar. It doesn't have to be perfect. And so then when the edges are already darkened, I will add I am adding the papers, kind of, you know, doing an abstract kind of with the collaging. And I wanted to just keep this abstract feel all throughout the process. I use Tacky glue to adhere the pieces, but of course you can use even the school grade glue. It doesn't change anything. I will not be adding any paints on top of it. And for the edges I'm using peeled paint and vintage photo. Those are 2 distress oxide inks, but of course you can add anything you want, or nothing at all. This is just my vision of the cards. I just wanted to add something, because it almost always, when I do the ATC cards, I put this background layer of paper underneath the actual paper on which I'm working. Because first of all, as you can see, sometimes I'm working on the scrap pieces of paper, so there is some writing or the paint which seeped through and stuff like that. So I don't want to offer cards like that to my customers, so I do always put the backing to it, and so like that I have a proper card and it looks much better, and it also is much sturdy. So my backing is actual ATC size, and the card, the white piece of card, is 5 millimeters smaller. I'm not sure how much is it in inches, but it's just a little bit, smaller, so it fits nicely on the backing. And quite often I'm just eyeballing it also. If I see that my card is actual ATC size and I want to add the backing to it, I just take my cutter and I cut on both sides. So like that, I have the proper size card. And so, as you can see, the process is very simple. You don't need me even chatting here, but what I wanted to tell you is that if you have possibility, if you have a little bit of time on your hands, and if you have a right tool, you can quite easily make this beautiful texture paper. And I tell you, it's really handy when you are stuck, when you do not know what to add as a focal point, especially in the kind of abstractish type of cards. Here you go, you can take these pieces of paper and just tear it and put it on your projects. And I was not sure if I'm gonna use the colored one, but finally I decided to go with the white, or rather, well, colorless piece of vellum. And I had just a tiny piece from the last one I made earlier on, and I was not sure I'm gonna have enough. So as you can see, at the last cards got a tiny bit only of the vellum, but it's nice. And what is cool also with this thing is that because it's a paper, you have one side which is of course very textured, and the other is quite flat. So on this flat part I add the glue, and it's gluing perfectly. So there is no problem with that. You can glue it without any issues. And I have a piece of this, it's not burlap, it's something similar. I'm not sure how is it called in English, this type of fabric. And it, as you can see, it loses its threads. So I take this thread, which is quite nice. It's completely different than the white thread I'm usually using, white or black. It's first of all, it's like a beige in color, and also a little bit thicker, I'd say. And I added around this vellum. And then I add a tiny bit of glue, like 1 or 2 dots, to just keep it in place. But I know that later I'm gonna add a little bit of sentiment to the card, so that is also gonna keep this thread in place. But as you can see, a tiny bit of glue. This one is cool, tacky glue, because it dries clear, but be careful also, because if you add too much, it's gonna be still visible. And I'm gonna use Tim Holtz clipping stickers. They are so abstract also. Some of them, they just, it's like half of the sentence taken from somewhere, and I find it super cool. So let's go with the abstract until the very last moment of this ATC card. I am really, really curious what are you thinking about this texture paper? Are you gonna do it, or do you have any other ideas? Please let me know, because I've been doing that for a long time. I've been having a lot of questions about that, even though that I already, I think, shared with you this idea, but it's normal, you cannot see all of my videos, so that's why I wanted to show you, so like that you know how to make it. This is it from me. As always, in the description box below you're gonna get a link to my shop and the list of all the products used in this video. I'm sending you big hugs as always, waiting for your comments. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I wish you a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, and see you soon in my next video. Bye bye.